Across the shattered war table, Commander Vei's claws trembled. "Do not say their name," he hissed, his eyes darting to the shadows. Around him, battle-hardened generals sat in silence, their scales pale with fear. Entire fleets had vanished. Planets went dark overnight. No wreckage. No signals. Nothing. The stories came from the edges of the galaxy. Whispers. Rumors. A species that hunted without warning and disappeared without a trace. Vei slammed his fist on the table. "They are coming." His second-in-command, Shira, leaned in. "We need to know who they are." Vei's voice dropped to a cold whisper. "They are human." A silence heavier than gravity filled the room. Shira's throat dried. "The Apex?" Vei only nodded. Across 1,000 worlds, the word was banned. To speak it was to invite them. The Apex, the final predators. "They don't conquer," Vei growled. "They consume fear. They move like shadows. When you see them, it's already over." A young officer burst in, face pale, breath sharp. "Sir." 3 ships, no ID, silent. They just appeared in Sector 9. Vei closed his eyes. "Prepare the evacuation. They found us." And the stars outside began to dim. Sector 9 was gone. Admiral Soar watched the broken star maps in horror. 30 ships erased. No distress calls. No debris. Only silence. "They left nothing," his technician whispered. "It's like they were never there." But Soar knew better. He had seen this before long ago on the edge of known space. Back then, they called it a ghost attack. Now he knew it was a signature. The humans had arrived. A single data file survived, buried deep in a black box. A brief, shaky recording. The sound of boots, calm breathing. A cold human voice. "Don't run. It's worse when you run." Soar's scales prickled. The human hadn't shouted. There was no rage. Only the quiet confidence of a species that hunted for the thrill of it. "They don't destroy for power," Soar whispered. "They hunt because they are made for it." His crew stared, frozen. Soar turned to them, his voice sharp. "Find out how they got past our sensors. Find out now." But deep inside, Soar already knew the truth. The humans didn't slip past defenses. The humans were already here. The Grand Alliance sent their best diplomat, Luruk, to stop the humans. His ship entered the silent sector. No lights, no signals. Only cold space and waiting shadows. His guards fidgeted, their weapons shaking in their hands. Luruk stood tall. "We come in peace," he called over the comms. "Let us talk." Silence. Then, a single human ship powered up. Luruk's screen blinked. A human appeared. Alone. Calm. A soldier, not a leader. His armor was scarred, his eyes sharp. He smiled, but there was no kindness. "You want to talk?" The human asked softly. Luruk forced his voice to stay steady. "There must be a way to stop this war." The human's reply froze the blood in his veins. "This isn't war, it's nature." Luruk's throat tightened. "We can share the galaxy. We can have peace." The human leaned closer to the screen. His voice dropped to a cold whisper. "We don't conquer, we survive. And we make sure no one ever hunts us again." The human ship disappeared. No warp signature. No trace. Luruk's guards were silent, terrified. First contact was made. It was not a beginning. It was a warning. In the deep labs of the Zyrek Council, scientists studied the only human body ever recovered. What they found broke every law of evolution. "This is impossible," Dr. Seleth whispered, his 4 hands trembling as he scanned the human's DNA. They changed themselves. The human genome was full of artificial edits, enhancements for strength, speed, pain tolerance. Layers of built-in adaptability. They weren't born predators. They became predators. They didn't wait for evolution to shape them, Seleth said. They forced evolution to obey them. Worse, their nervous system showed no fear response. In life or death scans, humans could walk into battle with steady hearts and calm minds. They didn't freeze. They didn't panic. One file survived in the body's implants, a short message, clearly meant to be found. Predators adapt. Apex. Predators evolve themselves. The lab's walls seem to close in around Selith. They aren't just hunters. They are evolving on purpose. A soldier burst into the lab panting. Emergency. 3 more sectors gone. No alarms, no warnings, just silence. Selith's voice cracked. You can't stop something that rewrites itself faster than you can understand it. Out there, the humans were already changing again. Admiral Soar stared at the battle report. His fleet, 40 ships, fully armed, had been ripped apart by just 5 human units. Not warships. Not armies, 5 humans. They didn't come in fleets, Soar whispered, horror rising in his chest. They came as hunters. Survivor footage showed shadows moving through ship corridors. Quiet, fast, perfect. Human squads working like packs of wolves, each step calculated, each strike deadly. They didn't use overwhelming firepower, the captain of a damaged cruiser reported. They slipped inside, cut off power, and hunted us in the dark. Soar's hands clenched into fists. They are not soldiers. They are something else. A message arrived from another sector. We surrender. Please spare us. No reply came. Humans weren't looking for territory. They weren't looking for peace. They were looking for prey. Soar turned to his officers. They don't strike to win battles. They strike to break us, to make us fear every shadow, every silence. Reports poured in. Ghost squads appearing and vanishing. Entire ships abandoned in panic. Soar's voice dropped to a cold growl. They don't just win wars. They make you surrender to your own fear. The once mighty galactic alliance was breaking. Fear was spreading faster than any weapon. Old rivalries ignited like wildfire, and allies began to doubt each other. Why should we risk our fleets for your worlds? Snarled General Cryat, eyeing the trembling representatives. Let them fall. We won't be the next prey. Council chambers erupted in chaos. Accusations flew. Trust shattered. Amid the turmoil, human forces slipped through cracks in defenses, striking isolated outposts and disappearing before reinforcements arrived. The humans didn't need to conquer worlds. They just needed to make everyone afraid. To stand together, ambassadors whispered in shadowed halls. Some even suggested bargaining with the humans, a thought that shocked many. Commander Vey's voice rang out in the council's ruins. We are not the hunted. We must unite or die divided. But unity was a fragile dream. The alliance was fracturing, and every broken piece was a new path for humans to hunt. In the cold silence of space, one truth grew clearer. Fear was the deadliest weapon, and the humans wielded it perfectly. Silence fell across the communication grids. No warnings, no signals. Just emptiness. Commander Vey stared at the dark screens, heart pounding. Entire sectors went dark, no response, no distress calls. It was as if the stars themselves were being swallowed. They strike when we don't. Hear them coming, whispered Lieutenant Mara. When the silence falls, it means death. Vey clenched his fists. The humans had learned to use silence as a weapon, stalking their prey in the dark, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Space. Fleets moved cautiously now, every sensor ping a prayer. But the humans were never caught. They came and vanished like ghosts. In one desperate attack, a human squad infiltrated a heavily guarded outpost, disabling defenses before anyone knew they were there. The galaxy was learning a terrifying truth. When the humans stopped talking, they were already inside. Vey's voice was cold. Prepare for the silence. Fear it, because the humans are listening, watching, and waiting. The void was no longer empty. It was alive. And hungry. In a hidden human command ship, General Kane stared at the star map. His eyes were hard cold. We don't want peace, he said quietly to his officers. We want respect. The humans didn't hunt for glory or conquest. They hunted so no one would ever threaten them again. Kane tapped a button. Every strike, every shadow we send, teaches a lesson. His soldiers nodded silently. They were hunters, bound by an unspoken code. Survived by being stronger, faster, smarter. The galaxy called them monsters. Kane called them protectors. Back in the Galactic Council, whispers spread about the humans' real goal. They don't want to rule, said Ambassador Rilt. They want to make sure no one ever hunts them again. Fear settled deeper in every heart. The humans weren't just enemies. They were a force rewriting the rules of survival. Kane's voice echoed in the void. We do not conquer. We do not negotiate. We endure. We evolve. And we make sure the hunters become the hunted. Across star systems, one truth rang out: humanity's code was simple and deadly. Never be prey. The galaxy's last hope gathered in the Orion Line, 3,000 ships. The largest defense ever built. Commander Vey's voice shook. This is where we stop them. But deep down, he feared it was already too late. Then they appeared. Not massive fleets, not unstoppable weapons. A single human bioadaptive ship, shifting metal, living armor. It evolved as it moved, changing its shape to counter every defense. Vey's fleet fired everything: lasers, missiles, plasma storms. The human ship adapted instantly. Its hull hardened. Its weapons reshaped in seconds. Their strategies failed before they even began. It's rewriting itself faster than we can react, screamed a captain. The humans had reached the next step of evolution: machines and biology combined. Thinking, adapting, hunting in real time. General Kane's final message burned into Vey's screen. You evolved to survive. We evolved to dominate. One by one, the Orion Line collapsed. The galaxy finally understood. The humans weren't fighting a war. They were setting a law. In the game of survival, humans didn't follow the rules. They became the rules, and now nothing could stop them. The war was over, but there were no peace treaties. No banners. No victory celebrations. The humans simply disappeared. Across the galaxy, burned ships drifted through cold space. Empty stations floated like hollow bones. Entire sectors went silent, untouched, yet abandoned. Commander Vey sat alone in the ruins of the Galactic Council. The alliance was broken, but the message was clear. The Apex had no interest in ruling. They only wanted to be left alone. In every corner of the galaxy, one rule was now whispered in dark halls, written into survival manuals, carved into starship walls. Never hunt the Apex. Never cross them. Never chase them. Never speak their name aloud. Because no one ever truly survives hunting humans. Some say they still watch from the shadows. Some say they've left forever. Others swear they hear the faint sound of human boots in silent halls, moments before a ship disappears. Vey looked into the endless stars and whispered the final truth. They never wanted our worlds. They wanted our fear, and they had it forever.